Okay, so the next thing we want to do, I'm going to skip a little ahead from the textbook, which we'll go over templates in just a minute. But I want to talk about professionalism in terms of setting your spreadsheets up to print appropriately. Oftentimes I find myself, if I'm not thinking about it, I make a quick spreadsheet, I hit the print sign and print the spreadsheet, and before I know it, I've printed 5 different pages, and some of my stuff gets split across the page, and not very good. And I get mad at myself because I've now wasted paper, and I have to go back and fix the print layout options so that that I don't waste paper. And if I were sharing my file with somebody else, they would really appreciate it if I didn't waste their paper as well, should they have to go and print things. So it's really a good habit to get into, to fix your spreadsheet so that they will print appropriately. So in your textbook, it has been every week in the last section of each chapter is information about setting up your print commands. So we've learned an awful lot about how to set up different print options, but now I just wanted to highlight and review that there does seem to be some confusion on how to best set up the printing options for your spreadsheets. So if I were to go in and want to see what it's going to look like without wasting paper, I'm going to go to the file and I'm going to hit my print, and I'm going to see the preview over here in the right side of my screen. Now notice at the bottom here, it says pages 1 through 2. Well, what happens if I select the 2? So in that case, it's only picking up that first page that I was on, that summary expense page. Because if I look at my settings that are set up on my print command, it defaults to printing the active sheet. So when I was on my spreadsheet, so I'm going to bounce back for just a minute, you'll notice that my active sheet is the expense summary sheet. So we're going to go back into the file, print. Let's say I didn't want to group all of my sheets together to make them all active. But I want to print the entire workbook. I would drop this dialog box down and I can print the entire workbook. So it's going to take a couple of seconds for the system to figure out what the preview is going to look at. But if I look down here at the bottom of my screen, you'll see now instead of 2 pages, it's 26 pages. So if I just blindly hit the print command now, I'm going to get 26 pages, and let's go through some of these. And you'll see that most of them are, all of them, I'm going to say, are caca, because they don't tell me much. I don't know what's going on. I'd really prefer to have all of those pages appear on one, so that it's all on one sheet. Now, I have some controls here on my dialog boxes in my settings page, and of course the software has or the textbook has told us a few different ways to change our options, whether it's through the page setup function here or the scaling function here. So what if I were to scale and fit to one page? Let's see what happens. So we're going to go from 26 pages down to 24 pages. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So we're going to go back to sheet 2 here. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 1. Well, that's not fitting to one page. Sheet 2 doesn't fit to one page. Sheet 3 doesn't. Sheet 3 did work. Sheet 4 worked. Sheet 5 didn't work. What's going on? Well, here's where we can use our grouping feature to actually affect the entire workbook outside of this controller. So I'm going to go back to my workbook. I'm going to select all of my sheets. Now I want to go to the print option, File, Print, and now when I go to the scaling and I change my scaling to say fit to one page, my 24 sheets should now become 13. Whoa, there we go. Oops, it's taken some time. 13 sheets, right? I have 12 months plus my summary page. And here we go. Looking there, very nice. Okay, I can hit the portrait option and change it to landscape. Again, take some time. Making the system really think. Okay, so that works well. Now remember to go ahead and save your spreadsheet now while you've set your options, because it won't save your options as you're changing them, especially on this print feature, until you save the work. So remember, you should be setting up your print options so that it prints professionally. You should be thinking about headers and footers on your sheets so that you don't get things out of sequence if you want to keep them page numbered and so on. Very good habit to get into, and I do actually look at that when you are submitting your work.